topic about today was we started with the identification of the 8 roles of medical teacher, and we now continue to talk about what is the good teacher, what the medical teacher needs to be excellent medical teacher. So effective teaching is a result of many factors, and teaching as described by Strong is an extraordinarily complex undertaking. Excellence in teaching may be recognized through local, national, and international awards, but what is an excellent teacher? This question is very important. And what are the features that distinguish the excellent teacher? So in medicine, a number of learning outcomes or competency frameworks have been used to describe the abilities required of a doctor. In this figure,
بس العفو دكتور بسيم، السلايدات يعني بنصح عليك تمشيها لان طالع لنا بس مال الدسكشن.
ايش؟ paused. الشيرنج is paused.
بس يعني تقدر تمشي السلايد حتى بس نشوف.
أنا مشيت السلايد بس your screen sharing is paused. Why؟
بس ولا ريزيوم دكتور بنصح عليك.
ريزيوم.
اي مرة ثانية ريزيوم لأنه هسه راح أعتل. اي كلش تمام هسه. اي
اوكي
كلش تمام. عاش ايدك.
ماشي. هذا السلايد اوكي
كلش تمام.
Okay. So we have 2 questions. What is an excellent teacher? And the second question, what are the features that distinguish the excellent teacher? So in medicine, a number of learning outcomes or competency frameworks have been used to describe the abilities required of a doctor. In the following diagram, we can see on the figure the requirement of an excellent teacher. We can see 3 circles. The circle in the center, this laser pointer, the circle in the center is technical abilities, doing the right thing. And another circle around it is the approach to teaching and doing the thing right. And the last one is professionalism, where the right person doing it. So each circle represent the stage of medical education or medical teacher career. So the center of the 3 circles, technical abilities, these abilities include all the roles we have discussed in the first session. So doing the right thing by the medical teacher, but you can see that these technical abilities are not enough for the medical teacher to be an excellent teacher. So they are just the basic level for every medical teacher. So the second level or the second circle is approach to teaching as doing the thing right. The good teacher is more than simply a technician. It is an important additional perspective of the teacher is represented in the middle circle in terms of how the teacher approaches his or her practice. So this includes the application of basic educational principles, for example, the FAIR principle to achieve active learning for the students. FAIR principles, that was mnemonic for feedback, active learning, and individualization for the students, and are for the relevant knowledge or relevant teaching or relevant information. So the application of basic educational principles, evidence-informed decisions, appropriate attitudes and ethical practices, and whether the teacher works as a member of team. Will be our discussion for tomorrow's session. So the second circle, it is the second step towards excellence in medical teaching. The third circle, which is the teacher as a professional, the outer circle in the 3-circle model represents the teacher as a professional, embracing all the attributes described in the inner and middle circles. So teachers should exhibit appropriate conduct and behavior, inquire into their own competence, evaluate their teaching, keep themselves up to date with current teaching practice, not just up to date with the specialty, even keeping up to date with the current teaching practice, with the current teaching methods as it relates to the different activities in the inner circle, and be responsible for their personal well-being. So in this table, we can see there are a lot of positive qualities of an effective teacher. And first one, assumes ownership of the classroom and the student's success, uses personal experiences as examples in teaching, understands feelings of the students, communicates clearly, admits to mistakes and corrects them immediately, thinks about and reflects on practice, displays a sense of humor, dresses appropriately for the position, maintains confidential trust and respect. It is structured yet flexible and spontaneous. It is responsive and to situations and students' needs. The table is not enough. There is continue for the table 1. The positive qualities of an effective teacher. Teacher should enjoy teaching and expects students to enjoy learning, looks for the win-win solution in conflict situations, listens attentively to students' questions and comments and responds to students with respect even in difficult situations, communicates high expectations consistently, conducts one-on-one conversations with the students, treats students equally and fairly, which is most important, and has positive dialogue and interactions with the students outside the classroom. Invests time with single students or small group of students outside the classroom and maintains professional manner at all times, addresses students by name. This point, I found one of the students, or maybe many students, they will be more happy if the teacher identify them by or call them by their names, even in large group or the large group teaching or large group setup. Speaks in an appropriate tone and volume and works actively with the students. So table 1, there are a lot of qualities for the medical teacher to be an effective teacher. Characteristics of the great teacher. This table was the result of a study, although it was on high school, not for medical school, but it means there are a lot of similarities between the characteristics of the great teacher, even in high school. I mean secondary school. The teacher should respect students, creates a sense of community with a supportive, collaborative learning environment, is warm, accessible, enthusiastic, and caring, sets high expectations for all students, has his own love of learning, inspiring students with his passion for education and their learning, and is a skilled leader and provides opportunities for his students to assume leadership roles, can shift gears and is flexible in his approach to teaching, collaborates with colleagues, and maintains professionalism as a teacher. So lot of characteristics, and that we have different opinions. We will have discussion at the end of these slides to see what are the characteristics from the students participating in this course. Here we have the characteristics of a master teacher, which is a more advanced level for the teacher to being master. He connects to the students and gets to know them individually, helps the students meet their own individual needs, makes the curriculum and what is taught relevant, works with the students to develop their love of learning, helping students to find their own spark in learning, keeps themselves as a teacher up to date. Education and learning will always change. So lifelong learning, one of the main goals of every medical school seeking excellence in medical education. The teacher focuses on learning goals as opposed to performance goals, ensures that character education is an essential part of learning. Students need to grow emotionally as well as mentally. The teacher should be passionate about the content they teach and is concerned not just with what is taught in their class, but with their overall impact on the school culture. And finally, communicates well with all stakeholders, not just the students. The stakeholders, I mean maybe the university level, maybe in the stakeholders in the university, or even in the community or in the hospital setting. This table shows us the desirable attributes of a teacher as identified by medical students. So our main target in the medical school, our main product of the medical school is our medical students. So we should respect their opinion, how they see the medical teacher, and how they see medical teachers to be excellent. So number 1 is to be passionate, enthusiastic about student learning, respects the students and has a commitment to their learning, empathetic, caring and compassionate, inspirational, motivating and encouraging, understanding and sensitive to learners' needs, fair and non-judgmental, flexible, easily approachable, and willing to listen. Humorous, takes a personal approach and knows each student, humble and knows limitations. Sorry for interruption. This is the youngest one. So in this table, the three-circle outcomes model applied to teachers in the clinical environment. So the first one, task of a clinical teacher doing the right thing. Here the same three-circle outcome, but here we apply it to the teachers in the clinical environment. So in the first step, time-efficient teaching, inpatient teaching, outpatient teaching, teaching at the bedside, not teaching clinical sessions at the college, teaching clinical sessions at the hospital, at the bedside. Work-based assessment of learners in clinical settings and providing feedback. Very important to provide feedback after every session in the clinical setup. The second step, approach to teaching. And here we are doing the thing right. Showing enthusiasm for teaching and towards learner. Understanding learning principles relevant to clinical teaching. Using appropriate teaching strategies for different levels of learners. Knowing and applying principles of effective feedback, modeling good professional behavior, including evidence-based patient care, and grasping the unexpected teaching moment. And then finally, the teacher as a professional where the right person doing it. Soliciting feedback on teaching, self-reflection on teaching strengths and weaknesses, seeking professional development in teaching, mentoring and seeking mentoring, engaging in educational scholarship. So in this figure, we can summarize the requirements to be a good teacher. The medical teacher medical teachers should have technical abilities, appropriate approach to teaching, professionalism relating to teaching, mastery of the content or subject area to be taught, an understanding of the curriculum, and understanding of the roles of a teacher. So here we can see that just identifying and recognizing the 8 roles of medical teacher is not enough for medical teacher to be a good or to be excellent medical teacher. So here's an equation which summarizes all the objectives in our today lecture. So we can see excellent teacher, ET, equals to information provider plus facilitator plus curriculum developer plus plus assessor, multiplied by educational principles, multiplied by attitudes, multiplied by decision making, multiplied by teamwork, and then finally multiplied by professionalism. So here the pluses means that the plus in the first part of the equation where the teacher may not be excellent in all 4 domains. He may not, it's okay, not being excellent in as a information provider, as facilitator, as curriculum developer, or as assessor. But the symbol X, the multiplication in the second and third parts, indicates that these are essential features with a 0 value for anyone, resulting in an overall 0 in the results of the excellent teacher. So time now for discussion and how can you see the desirable attributes of a good medical teacher after seeing the overall attributes we are discussing now. Okay, Omnia?
Thank you so
much. In the chat box or even raising hand and talking through the mic.
Yes, everyone, please type in the chat box the desirable attributes of a good medical teacher. Or you can just raise your hand and talk directly to the doctors. Okay, Dr. Hilal, please go ahead.
Thank you, Omnia. Thank you, Baseem. You are putting your finger on a very critical issues, really. But at the end, we have to be practical and realistic. Who is responsible for the selection of the medical teacher, and who is going to monitor his career development and his professional development as a teacher. Keeping in mind, when I say medical teacher, it started from the day one graduation, because even a junior doctor doing his house officer job or senior house officer, he is the leader of that post. He is the educator for the whole teams with him, including the nursing, the team that's working, the paramedical staff, the pharmacist, the team. So there must be an attribute of the medical teacher. So who is responsible for that? How we can do a structured training program for all medical teachers at the academic institutions, at the hospitals, at the primary health centers, etc., etc. What are our suggestions from this webinar to the policymaker? Probably they can hear our voice, or anyone attending the session can deliver a message to them. How can we do things right, and then do the things, the right things, and then do it rightly, as you said, Baseem? What do you suggest? And probably we can hear from our seniors and colleagues here with our meeting, Ustad Dhikra, Dr. Mohammed Saeed, مساء الخير. We can hear from them about these issues. The first thing is to you, Baseem.
The selection of medical teachers in our medical schools, all of us know the process. There are many mistakes, many pitfalls about how we select. They are just not all of the teachers, or not all of the doctors or specialists are motivated for teaching. The main targets are far away from motivation for teaching students. Some of them are motivated and will be involved in the process of the development of their medical education abilities. But the process can be rescheduled or can be processed in another way. So the medical school, if has its policy, its own policy, and the policymaker or even the council of the medical school can refuse or can reject anyone who is going to present badly, or to even in the interview, or even in the assessment of the presentation. But that's not enough. The process of medical education development is continuous process, not just in the first step of accepting or refusing them. Those are coming from the Ministry of Health. So the process of continuous development, continuous professional development, can be maybe implemented in the annual evaluation of the medical teachers. There are certain points about just publishing articles, just participating in committees in the medical school, but that's not enough to enforce or to motivate medical teachers to develop their abilities. You have to get some points to improve their career development in medical education, especially. So this is one of the ways. Otherwise, medical teachers cannot be. No one can monitor them just by motivating them, or even you cannot punish them whether they will not participate in the medical education or will not develop their abilities. I think this is the certain way to how to deal with it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have Dr. Mohammed Saeed. Dr. Mohammed, welcome. Please go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much, Dr. Baseem, for this nice and comprehensive lectures about the characteristic attribute of medical teachers. I just have a short story. We went to Leicester at 2011, and there during that workshops in Leicester, doctors, women doctors, bring us from the medical school to the hospitals to see a session there. And there, she was driving the car, she mentioned to us her story that she left working for 8 years to form her family. She had children. Then after 8 years of leaving her work, she returned back. Why she returned back to work? As she said that I returned back to work because I think it is a very inspirational sentence. Who teach the next generations? So I think all medical teachers should feel that they have a very great responsibility, very great honor. They are responsible for the next generation, and they should everything to prepare to spend their effort for preparations and for making.
العفو دكتور محمد، صوتك يقطع.
صوت ماكو اختفى.
اوكي
واضح؟ سمعتوني؟ العفو، سمعتوني ما سمعتوني؟
البارت الأخير دكتور ما سمعنا.
What she said that I returned back to work, not just maybe treating patient, but the main task, the main reason that she returned back to work is to she said who teach. Yeah, she asked herself who teach the next generation. For that reason, she returned back to work. So I think every medical teacher should think about the next generations. He is, and she is. They are responsible for the next generation. We are responsible for the next generations. We have these honors, and we are responsible for in front of the next generation to do our best for the next generation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Muhammad. Now we have Dr. Dikra Al-Wattar. Please go ahead, Dr. Dikra.
Thank you very much again. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Another thank you, Dr. Baseem. It's very interesting talk. Now,
Thank you.
not every doctor or good doctor can be a teacher. We need to select the right people to be teachers. Exactly. And they need to be, number one, enjoy to be teacher, and they need to be committed to be teachers. And most of the time, as we work here, it is not paid. It's unpaid job. It is part of our job plan that we put a session or 2 sessions, depends who is the person, to put some teaching sessions with your job plan. And this to be reviewed every year to see whether the productivity, whether the feedback from the student in this session, which I am paid, probably part of my salary comes from the university, whether I am giving the right teaching the way they like it from me, whether I have been respecting the students or not, have I been considered to be racist or not happy with it. So all the feedback comes back to our mentor, which we have, and this will be reflected on our yearly what we call appraisal. So each one of us as teacher, whom we are a clinician and we are not in the academic post, each one of us, those who are interested to be teachers, we can have part of our teaching, and that can be appraised every year. And if the feedback is bad on me, they will not allow me to carry on more teaching and get the money that way. Another thing, we said that who will assess these teachers. It is very strong process of these teachers who are educational and clinical supervisors. They have to go through a very regular process of attending modules of educating the teacher or leading the leaders. So it is on regular basis we go and repeat these modules. So it's not enough to say I am Dr. X, whoever, and I think I am the best. I have done these modules 5 years ago. I don't need to be doing it more. It is always, we have a lot of refreshment, and unless we do it every three years, we lose the opportunity to be teachers. And it will hurt me if one day someone tells me you cannot be a teacher because the students were not happy with you, or your presentation were poor, or you are not following your timetable. You come either late or you leave early, and you come unkempt, unhappy, and you are in a bad mood. So each of these important factors you discussed in your presentation is followed up by a very nice process and the right people who are supervising each teacher. So I think, so number one, in summary, these teachers need to be well selected, and they need to enjoy the job, and they need to carry on having regular appraisal every year to see whether they are delivering what is expected from them or not. And another thing I just wanted to say, maybe I forgot, I can read. So in summary, that is my points, and it's not uneasy, but it is important role. And I think each doctor has to try, if they like to be teachers, one of the best way to carry on working, because until certain time or age, we can retire from the clinical work, but the process of teaching can continue for up to 75, 80 years old. So it is very, very interesting way of carrying on the work, which each one of us, we love.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr.
Sorry, this is the point I wanted to say. With regard to Omnia and her colleague, whom I am very impressed with, the process of choosing the right teacher for the future is starting from the very beginning of the medical school. It is the duty of our consultants and teacher to probably try to select the right people who show some interest in teaching. So I think Omni and her colleagues started at very young age, and that is need to be very much encouraged. And I have seen a few of them going that way. So good luck to you. And I am sure each one of you will have a degree on the top of your clinical degree. And I told Omni one day when we talked, a few years ago, I wanted to go for another job because I felt I am one of the best doctor who can fit the job advertised in London, one of the good hospitals. So when I went there were about 6 of us. Many of them are much younger than me. So I was probably, in a way, I felt I am more senior than them. They will probably select me because I am I felt very good, fit the job, but each one of them, of course, the job was not given to me, but given to 2 much younger than me, but each one of them had extra degree on the top of their, of course, not FRCP. They had MRCP, but each one of them, one had a degree, a master's degree in education, and the other one had a master's degree in management, because that will add. So a doctor, a good doctor is not enough to be a good clinician. They should have extracurriculars in management or leadership or in education. So I think we are heading through the very right way, selecting the right people for the right jobs for a very bright future, inshallah. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Dikra. Always an honor to learn from you. Inshallah, we will follow your lead and complete your mission in our country. Speaking about what you said, because always brilliant remarks, you said about choosing the right people to the right job.
Yeah.
So I think we have a couple of the stakeholders with us here, a couple of deans of medical colleges. The question is to all of you, dear doctors, do you think in the foreseeable future, we would have a course, teaching course about the teaching skills being taught to the medical students during their undergraduate years? Is that feasible? Can we achieve that? I'm seeing Dr. Amin raising his hand. Dr. Amin, the Dean of Hammurabi University. Yes, Dr. Amin.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Waseem, for the nice presentation and scientific approach of the medical, the best in the teaching and learning. I have answer of this question. Thank you, Dr. Baseem, again, for the what are the described attribute of a good medical teacher. The medical teacher, it is important, should be to have a good background in the mind immediately for the every session, every time with the student. The first one. The second should be the skills for the integrated knowledge and the skills toward the theory with the teaching of a clinical session, including the all of them toward the involve of the teaching as a medical approach, the medicine, nursing, dentistry, and pharmacy. It is very important in the good high skill toward the procedure of the lecture in the theory and example from the scenario of integrated in the clinical. This is very important. Others point important to tools of the smart new update of the learning tools. It is very important should be to have a teacher in medical school. You have in the procedure of steps and systematically in the teaching. And thank you so much.
شكرا جزيلا دكتور أمين.
you.
Thank you so much. دكتور أمين, يعني نعقب على السؤال مالتك. بما أنه it is important now, we all know it is important to, before a teacher going into the teaching pathway, to be well trained in teaching. Do you think we can implement teaching skills training in the undergraduate years in the medical schools? Do you think it is feasible to implement that? The question is to all of you.
Can I participate? Excuse me.
Yes, please. Go ahead, Dr. حيدر.
السلام عليكم. دكتور حيدر عبد الحميد من كلية الطب جامعة النهرين، اختصاص طب باطني وأمراض تنفسية. حقيقة أكو فكرة حاليا يعني تدور عندنا بالمقررات الاختيارية، فواحدة من الأفكار اللي يعني انطرحت حاليا إنه نقدم فميني كورس اوف اختياري راح يكون مبدئيا ميني كورس عن ميديكال اديوكيشن في كليه الطب جامعه النهرين. حاليا احنا في البروسيسنج مال الفكره، وان شاء الله نحاول نسويه يعني حتى يكون واحد من البدايات لاعطاء الميديكال اديوكيشن للاندر جراجويتس، لانه موضوع جدا مهم انه يتعرف الطالب من البدايه على وات از ذا appropriate teaching، لانه كل دكتور هو تيتشر. فاحنا اذا من البدايه بدينا نعلمهم هاي الطريقه ممكن انه نحصل a lot of educators in the future. وشكرا جزيلا لكم.
Thank you so much, Dr. حيدر. Again, Dr. Amin.
Thank you again, Dr. Omnia. About the question, it is the very important in the update study should be the skill and the action reaction with the theories. And so it is very important toward the medical approach studies should be the started of the first stage and sixth stage in the medical school. Should be the teacher, you have every event of the psychological toward the integration with the image and the like the something about the in UK teaching. I visit multi-visit of the Esther and the Philadelphia. Yes, in medical school, not to have any not reaction with the theory and clinical in the hall or in the clinical environment. And so it is, you have the teacher in medical approach, you have the tools for the smart information technology. This is the very important, going to be after the 1 or 2 years ago, the decision maker for the education as informatic technology in medical, because of the involve the technology like the skull lab or the simulation or virtual scenario in the clinical session. It is very important. Like in our school, I have multi labs for the simulation and virtual in the basic of the lab, like the anatomy. Not I have anybody for the as traditional, but the body of the IT and the screen, it is informatic, very excellent in the teaching, and so the collect from the post teaching from the student, all of the participant. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank you, Dr. Amin.
Best of luck to all those who want to develop medical education in our country. Dr. Hilal, please go ahead.
Thank you very much for the comments. Probably may I also comment on Dr. Haydar Abdul Hamid in طب النهرين. This is an excellent step, is that to focus and highlight the importance of medical education and other terminations that is still till now, they are vague and they are strange to our community. Medical education, medical leadership, a lot of things that we are missing. But the point is that, Dr. Haydar, I think this is a basic and very important topic. Yes, you may start it as elective, but at the end, it must be generalized. Should it be limited to a group of medical students who are going to select that issue to be go more in deep for medical education. I remember just a few months ago when we have a medical education course, probably Baseem and Dr. Omni remember that, about medical leadership. And one of the suggestions is that to put it as one of the electives in year 5. My suggestion at that time is that to be at least increasing the awareness. مثل الاعتمادية. يعني our perception for the accreditation of medical schools is faulty, is not up to the standard اللي العالم الآن دا يشتغل به. لذلك increasing awareness and campaign about the concepts of accreditation is very important. Likewise, other terms, especially of medical education, medical leadership, and even research. The other point I want to stress is that in my presentation last week, I stressed 2 things during my career journey. The medical teacher, the curriculum or the learning environment, and the medical student. The medical students are stakeholders, are very important stakeholders. They can ask, they can suggest, they can propose, they can negotiate with their teachers, with their deans, with the deputy deans about the modernization of the curriculum, about the new methods in teaching and learning, about the new methods in assessment. It's very important because this is the dynamo of the dynamics of the working of the medical school. Even the newly graduated doctors, they can negotiate and ask and suggest for the hospital manager or the policymakers about their better training to get a better function to serve the patient. We have to focus on these issues. We have to increase awareness, and this activity is one of them. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hilal. Before we move on, everyone, do not forget to fill the feedback form. The team has posted it in the chat box. It is important that every one of you submit a feedback form. It is important for issuing your feedback, your certificates. We have a couple of opinions and remarks in the chat box. I'm going to read them to you, Dr. Baseem. So
Okay.
Dr. Rawa is saying, one of the attributes is passion for teaching, learning, and the material that is being taught, as well as being up to date, and many, many more. Dr. Fahmy is saying, I think a good medical teacher should be proactive, interactive, maintains high standards, and above all that, should have adequate science. Dr. Aram is saying, great session, thank you, I agree. These are good things that we saw in these tables, but what or who is the motive or drive behind these good characters? I believe it should be a self-motivated process under a careful review of experts who run the whole process of teaching that particular institution. So Dr. Aram is saying the passion behind teaching is the important drive for teachers, for good teachers. Dr. Ahmed is saying, I think good medical teachers should be interactive, trigger students and induce them to participate in the lecture on clinical sessions, encourage them, give them useful feedback, and always up to date. Thank you so much, Dr. Ahmed. We will stress on the engagement and motivation in the final module of this course. So stay tuned to module 4. Dr. Ghada is saying, according to this lecture, information providing is not the only thing that is important for a good teacher. So why the system in Iraq does not choose medical educators based on the other qualities that are more important for effective learning environment? This is a question for you, Dr. Baseem. She is saying,
yeah, all the system going wrong in the wrong way. There is no system for selection of medical teachers, as we all know. Some of the specialists in the Ministry of Health, they are maybe motivated for teaching students in the medical school. Maybe they are going for the medical school for other targets. I don't want to mention these targets, but the motivation for real medical teacher, it should be, as you said, self-motivation. I think there is no external motivation for everyone to be a good medical teacher. It should be kept in mind. The good medical teacher will be respected by students, will have good position in the medical school, but it all will be an extra burden for the specialist, being working in medical school and having the students and exams and lectures, preparation of material and handouts, and working at the same time at the hospital working with managing patients, and maybe in the outpatient department and duties just like the other specialists in the Ministry of Health. So the motivation for medical teacher in Iraq, really, it is just only the self-motivation. I don't know whether there are extra factors motivating us. Thank you very much.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Dr. Baseem. Dr. Zainab is saying the answer to your question is indistinguishable from the previous answer to the questions on the first talk. To be open to criticism and change, to work on building a rapport with learners, and to be non-judgmental, supportive, and address the various abilities of the learners. Thank you so much, Dr. Zainab. Dr. Ahmed is saying good teachers should have the ability to make everyone in the class understand the most important information in the lecture and give time to students to share the information that have, and do not punish any of them if they do.
There is no punishment. Punishment is not allowed. What do you mean by punishment? I don't know. If you consider making a quiz during the lecture or at the end of the lecture as a punishment, it's not a punishment. It's just a motivation. I'm well known in my medical school in doing quizzes. All of my students know that. These quizzes just are, I consider them just a motivation for the students to attend the lecture. It is not a punishment. Even if their contribution or their answer is not very well, I can reschedule or rearrange the scores according their attendance. So with the last year and even before it, many students get full mark about from this course and they attending the quizzes, although their quizzes are not real marks are not full, but their attendance was excellent. There are no absence in the lectures, and so this is not I don't consider it as a punishment. It is the motivation for the students, and the quiz can be done. They all know the quiz can be done at the same lecture, and the quiz can be done for the last lecture. So it is motivation to read and not just leave the lecture the last week, and at the same time they are attending for listening and for interacting at the lecture. So I don't know whether you mean by punishment in another way.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think the next question is to Dr. Hilal. Dr. Aram is saying, why should we bother being an excellent teachers? Why is it important for us to be excellent teachers? ليش إحنا مهتمين إن نكون excellent teachers?
سؤال إلي؟
أي دكتور.
Because this is what we should be all about. I think, Dr. Aram, it's nice seeing your comments, nice comments. Where are you now? In which medical school?
Dr. Aram, you can open your mic, please. Okay.
Anyhow, I will answer because this is what we should be all about. Otherwise, why I'm not a teacher? I am not an employee at any of the governmental institution, just putting my spending hours and then taking my salary at the end of the month. I should be a good teacher. I should be a friend. I should be information provider. I should be empathetic. I should like my duty. I should be very passionate about it. And I think one of the secrets that make us as faculty members, probably if we were successful at our career, is that because of that, we love what we are doing. I think the best thing that you can create and to be successful, you have to love what you are doing. And I will give you an example, a simple example. Once I was finished my postgraduate study and appointed in Diwania. At Diwania Military Hospital is a small hospital. It is a Class B hospital. So it is third grade hospital because there are the grade Class A like a Rashid, and then Class B like other large cities hospitals, and then Class C. It is a very small hospital. I tried to be a teacher at that time for the house officer, and we started learning process at the Department of Medicine, which was very small one, only 14 beds, after 2 years, all the residents who are doing the rotation, when they come to their medicine, they are refusing to go to the other branches. ما يقولون يروحون جراحة، لا جراحة ولا فروعها، يبقون بالباطنية. So at a time, I have five residents with me, working with me. Out of these 5 residents, we are living as friends, not as a senior, and even not as a military ranks at that time, in spite of the big difference between the ranks between me and them. We went to the general hospital every once a week doing endoscopy and doing echocardiography. And every day there is a session at the early of the morning from 8 to 9 o'clock. And at the end of the day, when I came back to Rashid Hospital in Baghdad after a few years, believe me, those 5 residents, 4 of them are consultant physician now. 4 of them. And there are other 2 who are joining the session later on, the training at the medical department. One of them consultant ENT, now outside Iraq, and one of them consultant radiologist practicing in Iraq. So I think there was a role model for them to be successful as at least for the medical career. So we have to, Dr. Aram, we have to be a successful teacher. We have to be a role model for our students, for our juniors. This is very important. There is a very important module at the website of the Royal College of Physicians of London is about role modeling. It is a very nice one. You can see it. It's free, and in that module, Professor Mumtaz Patel is having the scene at that module. The very important quote from her talk is that we as a teacher has nothing to give to our student except ourselves, because the knowledge we are giving them is there in the books and in the website. They are seeing to us as a role model. They will imitate us, and this is called the hidden curriculum. So I think a teacher should be successful and should be excellent. Otherwise, he is an employee at any institution. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Hilal. Sorry, everyone, for all the comments and remarks. I cannot read them all. I think we've reached the time. Please do not forget to fill the feedback form. The team has posted it in the chat box. Thank you to all of you who joined us. The best discussion ever. I hope you enjoyed the discussion tonight. We will meet you tomorrow, inshallah, talking about the dynamics of the teaching environment, the teacher inside the team, and continuous professional development. We will have Dr. Nazar Haddad from Basrah University, and we will have Dr. Omar, the Associate Global Director of MENA Region in RCP London. So we will see you tomorrow, inshallah, at 9 o'clock Baghdad local time for, inshallah, an amazing lecture too. Thank you so much again, and have a good night.
Thank you, Omnia. Good night.